Good evening. My name is David Okun, and welcome to my channel. My channel began this journey actually 2 months ago. The channel was 10 years actually set 10 years ago, but the project began 2 months ago. I've been looking at the cost of living. Now I'm looking at Amazon and Amazon owner Jeff Bezos. And the reason I'm looking at Jeff Bezos and Amazon because Amazon is a very wealthy project, and Jeff Bezos, who owns it, is also very wealthy. And this actually is relevant with the cost of living because the cost of living is about poverty. Jeff Bezos is about wealth. It's the opposite end, but because Jeff Bezos actually in Amazon invest heavily in the economy of the global economy, whether in the US or in the UK or in India, in China, in other parts of the world. They are very global. And all the other projects, including Amazon is the main one, but in the videos I've produced, I've actually highlighted different types of projects. So watch all the videos to find out the story about Jeff Bezos and Amazon and all the other projects actually related to Jeff Bezos. And it's important because if you live in the modern society, you need to learn how to make money, how to create wealth. And in my opinion, leave a comment below. In my opinion, the best way to create wealth is actually to learn about people who create wealth and how they create wealth. Personally, I think that is a very sensible thing to do. And I think if you do that, you're going to be rich, especially if you're a young person, but also if you're an old person, you can also get rich if you do the right things. You have to start somewhere, get the right information and then build on that, use that information to make money. Making money is so important, not only to get rich, but also to get out of poverty. In the sense that under capitalism, which we are under, the government is going to give less and less help. So with the cost of living, it's a crisis, especially it's a crisis. You can get help from the government if there is available help. But make sure that, because the cost of living, this is only the beginning. The cost of living, even as a crisis, it will go on and on. It's part of life. It can go up or down. The cost of living can go up and down, but my prediction is going to go up and up and up. And you need to try to learn every skills to make money. And if you don't, you might be in the greatest shock of your life, because as I said in the other video, I have said the government is shutting down. For capitalism to succeed, the government should shut down. The way it is shut down is to sell the government off to private investors, such as Jeff Bezos. The level of investment Jeff Bezos put into the economy is huge. He is an example of a private government. He is actually an example of a private ruler, head of state or head of the economy, whatever you want to call it. So you need to get this thing to understand them, and you have to prepare. Especially if you're a young person, if you're a parent, also be an expert in some of this information. I mean, if it means you have to spend more time looking at the behavior of wealthy people, do it. And if you haven't, like I said, support this channel by subscribing. And also, if you like the video, click like and share with your friends, family, and colleagues to support the video and the channel. Also, leave a comment below if you think something is one way or the other in terms of this channel. So we looked at different elements of the activities involving Jeff Bezos, and I'm now looking at a newspaper owned by Jeff Bezos called the Washington Post. If you know anything about the Washington Post as a newspaper, then let me know. On August the 5th, 2023, Bezos announced his purchase of the Washington Post for $250 million in cash at the suggested the suggestion of his friend Don Graham. So his friend Don Graham suggests to Jeff Bezos to buy the Washington Post in August 2023 for 250 million US dollar in cash. Leave a comment below if you have in your bank account a total of 250 million uh, uh, dollars. If you have that money, $250 million, leave a comment below. Let me know how you're doing in the middle of the cost of living. But this man, Jeff Bezos, because he's a multi-billionaire, he can afford to buy a newspaper cash using his private money. He pull it out of his pocket and 250 million to buy a newspaper program. And a friend just said to me, you buy a Washington Post, and said, okay, I'm going to do it tomorrow or tomorrow the day after. I don't know how it happened about it. That is the power money can give you. You can buy whatever you like. So learn how they make their money. Maybe you also will be a billionaire and you can buy anything you like. And also, if you are not even a millionaire or you don't even get rich, at least you will work your way out of poverty. You can earn some good money as a business entrepreneur. And I suggest very strongly that even if you have a good job, even if you work long hours, try to learn how to invest your money in a business. And I actually mentioned this again and again and again in terms of the cost of living. It's a crisis, it's a solution, because the cost of living is an income problem. And so, being an income problem, it will be wrong for me to actually not tell you the importance of maximizing your income by investing in the economy, by working hard as an employee, being employed or self-employed. It is really critical. It's also important to cut down the level of your debt. You can go get into debt if you want, but right now, if you can avoid getting into debt, it's going to be really important. If you can negotiate with your debtor, with your creditors, if you can get professional advice to support you to negotiate with your creditors, to maybe take it easy with you until the crisis passes, that will really be helpful. That's actually the essence of the cost of living. There may be other things. If you are sick, it makes it even more complicated. If you have a medical condition or a disability, it makes it even more complicated. So the reason I'm talking about Jeff Bezos is actually for you to actually learn about rich people, how they make their money, and also, learn as much as you can. You probably already know more than you think. But if you read about them, it's going to encourage you that if they can make it, if they can be rich, you can also be rich. You can make money as well. You may not be a millionaire or a billionaire, but you're going to live well, improve on your life. Life is about improvement. So the sale closed on October 1000 on the first October the 1st, 2013, and Nash Holding took control. If you know anything about Nash Holding, leave a comment below. So they actually took control of the transaction and the enterprise in March 2014. Bezos made his first significant change at the Washington Post and lifted the online paywall for subscribers of a number of U.S. Local newspapers in Texas, Hawaii, and Minnesota. So he's actually made reforms when he acquired the Washington Post in January 2016. Bezos set out to reinvent the newspaper as a media and technology company by reconstructing its digital media, mobile platforms, and analytics software. The essence of the Bezos empire is actually digital, and it's very relevant because he's an engineer, he's a scientist, he's a technician. He understood the value of digitization, a digital economy, long ago. Actually, Amazon, the basis of Amazon is digitization. He invented the concept of digital storage system. If you buy your product online, think of Amazon. because they pioneered the program, eBay and people like that. Leave a comment below if you know anything about Amazon. If you know anything about Jeff Bezos, and if you know anything about all the other online outlets, Argos, even in the UK and all the others. So it's actually digital media. YouTube is an example of a digital media because it works with the internet. Yeah, anything working with the internet, computing, which are actually digitized, media, mobile platform, and analytics software. My YouTube channel have something called analytics. So it uses analytic software. And leave a comment below if you know anything about the analytics software. After it surged in online leadership in 2016, the paper was profitable for the first time since Bezos made the purchase in 2016. So this is really interesting because when the newspaper went online, he started making profit because I actually saw Washington Post on Facebook. I didn't know it even existed. And I spent a lot of time online, actually, on the Facebook, reading newspaper, also seeing media information on YouTube. So that's what digitization means. That's actually what Jeff Bezos is about. And if you want to know anything about business, the best thing for you to do is actually know something about the digital economy. So when we talk about Bezos expeditions, and leave a comment below if you know anything about that. Is one of his projects, Jeff Bezos expeditions, and Bezos actually makes personal investments through his venture capital vehicle, Bezos Expeditions. So that's actually the tool of his investment. If you want to invest, he use Bezos Expeditions, which is really an interesting concept. It was one of the first shareholdings in Google when he invested 250 million US dollar in 1999. So he has a share in Google. And you comment below if you know anything about Google. And we talk about Jeff Bezos. So the first shareholders in Google is one of the first shareholders in Google. Leave a comment below if you have a share in Google. That 250,000 investment resulted in 3.3 million shares of Google stock worth about 3.1 billion in 2017. So he made a lot of money. He made billions afterward. He also invested in Unit Biotechnology. So Jeff Bezos' expedition is actually invested in stock. So he also invested in Unity Biotechnology, a life extension research firm hoping to slow or stop the process of aging. Now, if you're growing old, if you're in your 50s, 40s, and 60s, and coming to 70s, if Jeff Bezos can get his way, he could potentially slow the aging process of your life. We could even stop it. If it's actually Unity Biotechnology investment work, if that enterprises work, it will actually extend life extension research. It's being done now, research to extend life. If you're going to live only 100 years, you could potentially be living around 2 to 3 to 4 to 500 years. That is what Jeff Bezos is doing now through something called Unity Biotechnology. It's like a life extension research firm hoping to slow or stop the process of aging. Aging is a death sentence. If you think about it, if you're human, the day you're born, you start crying. If you hear children being born, they start crying. I think probably they're crying for their life. They're crying for their funeral. the day you were born, that's the day you start dying. You grow up, and if you peak, you start going back. Like, you grow up and you grow down into your grave. You come from somewhere, you end up somewhere else. Everybody is listed. The day you are born, you registered for death. And the number one killer of a human life is actually aging. Imagine if Jeff Bezos can slow it. So if you're going to, slowing may mean, if you're going to live for 1 year, 100 years, or even maybe 80 years, if you are actually, your body, like, going to last only 80 years, you can actually live for 300 years or for 200 years. If Jeff Bezos can get his way to extend, to actually, because the thing is, if it slows aging, that will also extend the span of your life. Now, if it stops it entirely, most people are not going to die. It's going to stop death by maybe 80%. Because most people who die of aging anyway. I mean, the older you get, there are all sorts of, you become so vulnerable, so frail. I mean, just a simple fall can lead to death or a lot of severe damage to your body. I don't want to go through all these horror stories, but it's so exciting that someone like Jeff Bezos is actually really working, is pouring his money into this. I think this is really good. Leave a comment below if you think life should be extended if the technology comes, such as Jeff Bezos is actually investing in. So Bezos is involved in the healthcare sector, which includes investments in Unity Biotechnology, Grail, Juno Therapeutics, and ZocDoc. These are really some really cool names. Grail. Leave a comment below. These are actually some of the projects involved in under Unity Biotechnology, and one is called the Grail. The Grail look like really cool. Juno Therapeutics and ZocDoc. Leave a comment below if you know any of these things. And they're going to do miracles if they succeed. If they don't succeed, leave a comment below what you think is going to happen. In January 2018, an announcement was made concerning Bezos' role within a new unnamed healthcare company. So there are all sorts of investment taking place within the healthcare sector. With Jeff Bezos is actually doing a really good thing in thinking of health. I mean, who wouldn't, if you are so rich? Wouldn't your dream come true? What would stop Jeff Bezos from being billionaire? It's death. It's now about, I think, it's about 59 now. He hasn't gone very long. He has 40 years. Because people can live up to 100 years. If he dies earlier than that, then he probably has 20 or 30 years. He's going to die. So if he's lucky, his own enterprise is going to save him from stopping being anything at all. So this venture later, named Heaven, is expected to be a partnership between Amazon, JP Morgan, and Berkshire Hathaway. Leave a comment below if you know JP Morgan. You probably know Amazon already. Leave a comment, and if you know Berkshire Hathaway. These are actually some of the companies involved in the health sector or the private sector, exploration, research, business, and so forth. Bezos also support philanthropic efforts through direct donations and non-profit projects funded by Bezos Expedition. So Bezos Expedition is one of the this actually investment in different projects. It's a vehicle he uses for investing in different projects, including the health and others. So what he does is actually he does a lot of philanthropic activities work. I mean, giving for charity. You give something to charity. That's what philanthropy means. Somebody who gives things, you donate things. If you have a charity, try to look for Jeff Bezos, Bezos Expeditions learn about it. I mean, imagine you're trying to set up a health and care or a medical center, and you are looking for capital. You never know, depending on the research, the kind of project you're involved with, your contacts, your network. If he likes you, he might give you some money to set up a project. Especially health and social care in the UK, if you're in the UK, or community care facilities if you are in America or somewhere else. Because this is trending now. Health and social care is replacing mainstream health sector. So keep an eye if you're actually small and medium business. You may be working as a nurse now. Maybe you're working as a carer, care assistant. You could actually work with some people to write a project, business project. You don't know. Jeff Bezos could finance you, and you'll really get a lot of publicity for your business. Even if he gives you only 5,000, 10,000, you can use that to actually publicize your business. Everybody will want to know about your business if you say it's actually being funded by Bezos Expedition. Bezos used Bezos Expedition to fund several philanthropic projects, including an innovation center at the Seattle Museum of History and Industry, and the Bezos Center for neural circuit dynamics at Princeton Neuroscience Institution. Neurons, neurological as enterprising or medicine has to do with nerves and brains and nerve centers and things like that. Leave a comment below if you know anything about neuroscience. So that's one of the things he invests in. So he's doing a lot of work. In 2023, Bezos Expeditions funded the recovery of two Saturn V first-stage Rocketdyne F1 engines from the floor of the Atlantic Ocean. So it does things like that, like if things has fallen into the sea, he actually undertake to recover them. These are actually spacecraft or rockets and things like that. It's actually thing to do with space. It's area of his interest. He doesn't do things just blindly, because he wanna see that they were positively identified as belonging to the Apollo 11 missions, as IC stage from July 1969. So probably he has a vested interest in these expeditions. The engines are currently on display at the Seattle Museum of Flight. So you get a lot of publicity also doing this kind of project. So it's a strategist. He doesn't do things just because doing things are really interesting. We're going to look at another program. It's called Altos Labs. You know anything about Alto Labs, let me know. So in September 2021, Bezos co-founded Altos Lab with Mail.ru founder Yuri Milner. So if you hear something with dot something, it means it's digital. So Altos Lab actually is in laboratory, I think research facility. Altos Labs is a generously funded biotechnology company dedicated to harnessing cellular reprogramming to develop longevity therapeutic. Longevity means you're going to live long. Biotechnology, technology to do with biology, biological things like human, animals, which is the same. So Altos Lab actually is a company, it's a private company owned by Jeff Bezos and someone else called Milner. So he partnered with another entrepreneur to do this. So longevity, to develop longevity therapeutics. Therapeutics mean treatment. If you take medication, you're actually getting therapy. If you get a massage or anything like that, you're getting physiotherapy and things like this. Is longevity. A treatment to help you live long. Leave a comment if you know of any medical processes or support or actual procedures to help a human being to live long, to live longer than they otherwise would. Do you think some of it is now available for some rich people? And do you think rich people are actually living longer than poor people because they have access to some, therapies, medical therapies, which actually, make them stronger, they live longer? Do you think it is accidental that they live longer? Do you think there is? Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. The company has recruited prominent scientists such as Juan Carlo is Pizzoa Belmonte, known for work on rejuvenation through reprogramming. Steve Avas, known for work in epigenetic aging stock clocks, and Shinya Yamanaka, the Nobel Prize winning inventor of cellular programming in mammalian cells. So mammalian cells is actually mammals like humans, are called mammals. They're cells. Cells actually is responsible for our bodies. They build our bodies. Genes build cells. Cells actually. Genes is actually the chemical signature of human identity. So these are some of the things he does actually to help things like epigenetic aging clocks. So talk about genes, genetic. Looking at genes, they want to actually control genes to actually influence the clock, the timetable of life, aging, for example. So when the body operates, if it function, then they can control, they can push it, they can speed it up. The clock, the clock is about time. Time in human existence is aging. It's to do with age. Either you're a young person, it means you can turn the time back. You turn the clock back and things like that. So these are the kind of things they're trying to do when they talk of epigenetic aging clocks. That's what they talk about. And they talk about rejuvenation. Rejuvenation, it means that if something is really getting old, you can actually make it young. That is rejuvenation. If it is actually rotting, you can make it fresh. That is rejuvenation. If they're expiring, you actually, kind of like inject more life into it. So reprogramming, like through reprogramming. And these are actually things happening now. These are researchers. So Jeff Bezos actually recruited prominent scientists involved in this. Their names are actually mentioned here. And he's doing a lot of work. It's a lot of power. Jeff Bezos is actually a very important person. So it's important for you also to acknowledge that and then learn something about him. So the company left stealth mode and launched on January the 19th, 2022, with a start capital of $3 billion and an executive team led by Al Baron. Okay, so they are investing a lot of money and they're operational, they're doing so many things. And thank you for watching this video. I'm going to see you in the next video. Have a lovely evening. If you like the videos, click like and share with family and friends. If you like the channel, subscribe to the channel and then support it in whatever way you like. If you would like to make a comment, leave a comment below and hit on the notification bell. Thank you for watching. Thank you. Good evening. Bye.